I used to live in Nyeri, and in 2017 I found it necessary to relocate to near Nairobi for probably not necessarily greener but wider pastures. So when I came to, I decided to settle in Ruiru because of probably the cost of living is lower here, but we are nearer Nairobi where the main market is, or perceived market for that matter. So I started finding out what is the most, where is upcoming potential market, and I thought construction industry is really coming up very well. And as long as people are being born, they will need shelter. So I thought, where can I fit? Of course, I can't do construction myself. So after researching on the cost of living, I thought there's a gap, and I started looking at ways how we can bring down the cost of living. And that's how I started embarking on what aspects that makes construction very expensive. And that's how I came across the interlocking hollow blocks. And I started researching locally who is using them, but I had to go outside and look at solutions from China, because one of the challenges that I realized is that it was very expensive to do the interlocking hollow blocks using the machines, because the cheapest machine, the hydraulic press machine that I was getting, was costing not less than 600,000. So when I got this option of doing these blocks that are bigger using molds, I don't need electricity. I thought it's a very good option. So I went further and ordered my first 20 pieces. They were sent by air. I came, I started experimenting, and when I saw that they're making something beautiful, I thought, why not give it a trial? I started approaching customers to see the market acceptability, and when I got one customer to trust me, I ordered 200 more, and now from there, as they say, the rest is history. I'm a mother of two beautiful girls, a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old, both in school. I've been in employment for very many years. I can't remember how many, but for the past 4 years, I moved from full-time employment to consultancy, and now here I am in full-time business. It was the hardest thing that I ever had to do, because there is that comfort that one gets when you're in employment. That paycheck, it just locks your mind. So I could imagine, now I quit. How will I pay my rent? How will I pay school fees for my children? How will I feed my children? But one day I said, let me save enough for 3 months. Then by the time the 3 months are over, I'll have figured out how to get some income, and that's how I switched. But it was the most difficult decision that I ever had to make. With this kind of blocks, we are targeting people with very tight budgets, and even the people with high budgets, because you see, in construction, when you do the walling, those are basics, it's standard. How you do the walling, whether you use the Ndarugo, whether you use the hydraulic pressed blocks or these ones, the cost of construction is taken up by how you do the finishing. With these, you have a choice to leave them like that, or plaster and do all the madoidos, for lack of a better term. But basically, we target people with tight budgets. The reason being, once you do the walling, it's very fast, since you don't need mortar in between. So you're able to do your walling very fast, and you don't have to plaster. You can leave your walls as they are. You just apply varnish or paint directly. So you make huge savings, over 40%. And it's even better when, because our main work is not necessarily to make these blocks, our work is to transfer technology to anyone who is willing. So if you buy the molds, we train you on how to do the blocks, and when you make these blocks on your site, you save a lot of money. Yes. It's very tough to balance, and particularly for us single moms. I always tell my friends, being a parent is hard, but being a single parent is even harder. The reason being, you're the father, you're the mother, you're everything in that house. You're the breadwinner. You have to wake up every morning. If the child is supposed to be picked up at 4 p.m., wherever you are, your clock is telling you have to be in such and such a place. If there are events at school, you have to be there for your children. You have to fill all the gaps. At times you're working, you're with clients late in the night, your child is back at home waiting for you to do the homework, so you end up probably doing it in the morning. So it's quite it's a balancing act. You have to balance as a mother, as a father, and as a sole breadwinner. Okay, my children have been very supportive. Like I have a 16-year-old girl. That is a big girl, and we've come a long way. So at times she stands in for me. She represents me when it comes to dealing with the younger one, especially in areas like homework, making sure things are in order at home. So they really are very supportive, because it's a matter of communicating. If I'm coming home late, I have to explain to my children. If there's a school event and maybe I've traveled, I really have to explain to them, now I will not be able to join you because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. So they're very supportive, but I go out of my way to ensure that I'm there for them. I have my family. I have my 2 sisters that I know I'm traveling maybe for 3 weeks. I have a sister I can call, and she will stop whatever she is doing and she will come and stay in my house to ensure things are running. I have another sister who lives around Nairobi, and I know I can always, any time of the day or night, pick my children and go leave them there, and she, with or without food, she will sort everything out. So my 2 sisters are my support system. I made my first mistake. When I did the cost, when I brought in the molds, I looked at the landed costs. But when I was fixing my selling price for the molds, I forgot to include the capital expenditure for the molds. So because I wanted to start making sales very fast, the price that I set at first, I realized if I go on selling like this, 2 years down the line, my molds will be very old and I will not have saved a dime to replace the molds. So I had to now go back to my markets, people who are already used to buying these blocks at price X, and I had to go and explain to them that for one reason or the other, the prices have to go up. However, I realized that with the moment you bring in a consignment and sell part of it, you're able to recover your investment, and now you remain with the molds and you use them to generate some income that are able to keep you going without necessarily making losses when it comes to the capital expenditure. Yes. Okay, initially I used to be on site every single day so that I'm able to understand, and one of the key things that made me to remain here at the site is to minimize losses, because in this business, if you do not manage wastage of materials and resources that you have, you will make serious losses that you're not able to see them until probably thereafter. So I normally wake up in the morning. This is a day, my day starts at 6 a.m. I see off one of my bigger daughter is in boarding school, but the 10-year-old is a day scholar. I live with her. So once I see her off to school at 7 a.m., I of course do my morning, I call them rituals, just getting things in order, my prayers, my devotion. I do a bit of home to keep in shape. For a 46-year-old, you can see I really have a long way to go. So I do my workout a bit in the house, and from there I prepare to get out. The work at site starts way after 8:30 a.m. So I have to come and check what materials they require. Fortunately for us, we don't order materials every day. We order per batch. So once I know I've bought materials for the next 4 days, I'm sorted because I know what quantities will make how many pieces. So for me, the size work is okay. So at times I join my staff and we work together because I have to keep in touch with them so that it's good to know your staff very well, and you have to know every procedure so that in case there's a gap in the staffing, you come in and you train the next person coming. Like I would advise anyone in the business, you really need to understand your business. Don't rely on your staff members. I love life. I love life. I go dancing, I go to the gym, I go to the health club, yeah, and just spend time with girlfriends. I have girlfriends that we can just sit and laugh the whole afternoon and the whole evening. I love going out, but traveling is key. Every time I know I'm traveling, of course not the long haul flights, but even local travels, driving from here to Nakuru just makes me happy. Yes. Of course a big car, not a small car. Yes, my passion is in gardening. I love gardening. I have a passion about healthy living, so I'm always doing my gardening. I do my own vegetables, like I'm trying to do one at the corner there. Yeah, and flowers. I'm always surrounded by flowers as long as my compound where I'm living allows me. Yes, but I'm not talking about farming of coffee and maize. No, kitchen garden for me just me. No, in the house we don't have. We moved in here the other year, so there is no space. But all the houses we have lived with self-compound are beautiful, beautiful, and I supply to all my friends. The freedom that you have, the flexibility. Like I said, I love traveling. I've set systems here that even when I'm out of 254, as long as I'm able to communicate and get reports in the evening, I don't have to wake up and come to site every morning. I can operate my businesses from anywhere because I've set up systems and structures, reporting systems to ensure that I'm in touch, yet I'm not here. So freedom for me is everything. Okay, like I said, our main work is technology transfer. This is just a by the way because this is more of a demonstration site. I'm looking at a time where I will partner with every organization that works with the youth, every organization that works with women, so that they can finance those women groups. And these women groups, we can sell to them the molds, we train them, the youth groups, so that in their localities down there, if they're able to make these blocks, you can imagine if they worked with the CDF, for example, they would transform, make all the blocks that are needed to do classes, to do churches in their localities, and we transform the sector. So we no longer have to see churches made of mabati, like these neighbors of mine have been trying to tell them to embrace this. And this is something that I empower people around me by talking to them so they can embrace this and transform their communities. Yes. To all moms, married, single, even though you're married and your husband brings money in containers, wake up and do something. Do not fear. It's good you be doing something because even it engage your mind constructively. You don't just sit there on Facebook all day. But for those who are planning to start a business, number one, it's a risk that you have to take. Even waking up in the morning itself is a risk. So starting a business is not easy, but it's a risk that is worth every coin. But for those who want to start a business, the first thing that you need to do is research. Then once you research, you have full information. They say information is power. Engage. Then start small and grow. Do not start your business using borrowed funds. If possible, save and start small. Like I started with 20 molds, and now we are doing a 40-foot container every 3 months. So you start small and grow upward. Yes, but don't fear risks. And for those who are already in business, always engage with your staff. Spend time in your businesses. Go there from Monday to Friday, take your leave so that you also understand your customers better. The worst thing that you can ever do is to entrust your business to your staff members, because your customers will get to know your staff members, and your staff members, they will just go next door tomorrow, open a similar business, and all your customers will go. I've seen this happen a lot with salons. I use social media a lot, but every time I'm always having my ear on the ground. Every time I hear there's a project coming up somewhere, I go out there, talk to them. Every time, and also I visit hardware to ensure when they get clients, I give them commissions. We have an arrangement with hardware shops where people, because everyone starting construction, the starting point is the hardware shop. So I have some hardware shops where I put my blocks on display. So people who are thinking about construction, when they see this, probably, because this needs to be factored at the planning stage. Yeah. It's unique. It's a unique brand, and we are very happy to introduce this technology, though not something very, very new in Kenya, but I'm proud to be the first person to come out openly and roll it out and educate everyone who is interested, and also transfer the technology of this unique, very unique brand. I read a lot, and I love motivational books. Right now I'm reading Becoming by Michelle Obama. Yes. But at any given time you can find I'm reading 4 books at the same time. I'm reading Becoming by Obama. I said I'm very passionate about healthy living. I'm also reading Obesity Code, just to ensure I'm in good health. I'm being very resourceful, very hardworking, because I work hard. Okay, smart. Yes. And I'm a social animal. I'm a happy-go-lucky mom. Gospel A to Z. Even my children have had no choice but to just cope up. Yesterday I went to visit my daughter, and she was like, "Yeah, David needed someone to lead praise and worship." And I happen to know the songs thanks to you. So I love gospel. Even right now in my house, it's just gospel. Yes, a bit of soul when I feel like I need a break. Yes, but gospel just is food to my soul. It is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Before I was engaging in small-time business when I was still in full-time employment. But even after having gone through school, I've done some basic accounting courses in one of the many courses that I've done, both in college and in university. When it comes to really doing business, it's very, very important to separate assets and liabilities. That is where it all starts. So every time I make a decision, I always have to ask myself, is this an asset? Is this a liability? And that's where it all starts. It will determine whether you will make losses. It will determine whether you make profits. Robert Kiyosaki's book was just a game changer for me. If you engage me before 8 a.m., engage me at your own risk. I always put a disclaimer. Anything you tell me or anything I tell you before 8 a.m. at your own risk. But I can work until 3 a.m. and I'm okay. I can make the best decision. I do all my research at night. I research at night a lot. And at that time, even internet is fast and everything. So the earliest I think I sleep is midnight. I hate negativity. I hate anything negative. Actually, the first sentence you say it's negative, oh, I can't. For me, that does not apply. I like positive people around me. If I hear anything negative at you, oh, men are this, oh, women, house girls are this, no, that to me doesn't appear. I hate negativity. That I'm a very good cook. They think I'm just a slick cook, but I'm a very good cook. I try out different recipes. Actually, people get surprised. Yes, I can cook very well, and when it comes to farming, I'm a hands-on person. I don't hire someone to do my garden. I do it with my own hands. I just say every time I tell myself, Lydia, you can do it. I don't like seeing any. Whenever I plan to do something, I always tell myself, yes, I can. Yes, because there are so many voices telling you otherwise. Yes, I always tell myself every time I look at the mirror, I'm like, Lydia, you can do it. You can do it. And of course, being a believer that I am, I always say I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's the verse that takes me throughout each and every day.